Welcome back to Life Mastery. Today, let's delve into a topic that might sound familiar: the ease with which we lose ourselves in hours of video games or social media, compared to the struggle of focusing on tasks like studying or building our side business. This puzzling difference in motivation raises a fundamental question: what drives some people to effortlessly tackle challenging endeavors? And more importantly, is there a way to make these difficult tasks feel more manageable? To find answers, we need to explore the role of a fascinating brain neurotransmitter, dopamine. Often hailed as the pleasure molecule, dopamine actually fuels our desires and propels our motivation to take action. Consider this: your ability to binge watch TV shows, play video games, or endlessly scroll through social media isn't solely due to the activities being easy. It's largely a result of dopamine's influence on your brain. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Let's rewind a bit. Neuroscientists have conducted some remarkable experiments involving rats and electrodes implanted in their brains. When these rats pulled a lever, researchers stimulated their brain's reward system, leading to a dopamine surge. The result? These rats developed an insatiable craving, continuing to pull the lever for hours on end. They neglected food, sleep, everything, in pursuit of that dopamine-induced satisfaction. But when the release of dopamine was blocked, the rats lost their drive. They became lethargic, disinterested even in basic activities like drinking water. In essence, they lost their zest for life. While these experiments might seem extreme, they shed light on the power of dopamine in shaping behavior, not just in rats, but in humans too. In your daily life, your brain prioritizes activities based on expected dopamine rewards. High dopamine releases motivate you to repeat an action, whereas low dopamine yields less interest. This principle applies to both simple pleasures like comfort food and more complex behaviors like studying. Activities with immediate rewards hold your attention, while those without instant gratification are easily brushed aside. For instance, think about your smartphone habits. You check your phone in anticipation of messages or notifications, you expect a dopamine boost. It's similar to those rats, endlessly seeking their reward. In today's digital age, we unknowingly inundate ourselves with dopamine hits from activities like social media, gaming, and more. These behaviors condition our brain to prioritize high dopamine activities. But here's where it gets interesting: your brain's quest for dopamine can be harnessed to your advantage. Imagine using your affinity for high dopamine behaviors as a tool to fuel productive endeavors. Let's call it the dopamine detox. To embark on a dopamine detox, set aside a day devoid of high stimulation activities. Say goodbye to excessive internet usage, the constant phone checking, and other sources of instant gratification. Instead, embrace the challenge of being less entertained. This might sound intense, but radical results often require radical actions. During your detox day, engage in simpler, less dopamine-rich activities. Take a contemplative walk, meditate, jot down ideas on paper, and reflect on your goals. By refraining from dopamine-intensive habits, you're allowing your dopamine receptors to recalibrate. This recalibration is crucial. It empowers you to find joy in activities that were once overshadowed by high dopamine triggers. But remember, if you're grappling with substance addiction, seek professional help to address physiological and psychological dependencies. Now, you might wonder how this detox works. Think of it like this: if you've dined at an exquisite restaurant daily, plain rice loses its appeal. Yet, when you're starving on a deserted island, that plain rice becomes a treasure. Similarly, a dopamine detox starves you of hyperstimulating rewards, making less stimulating activities feel more enticing. If a full-day detox seems too daunting, start with a smaller version. Choose one day each week to abstain from a high dopamine behavior, whether it's excessive phone use, gaming, or TV binging. This approach also encourages dopamine receptor recovery and paves the way for engagement in activities you might otherwise dismiss due to their lower dopamine yield. However, the key isn't merely reducing high dopamine behaviors, it's also about creating a balanced dopamine environment. Here's a strategy: associate your high dopamine indulgences with rewards for completing productive tasks. For instance, after a substantial period of focused work, treat yourself to a controlled dose of high dopamine activity. This way, Your indulgences become incentives for pursuing long-term goals, striking a balance between pleasure and productivity. I personally employ a similar approach. I tackle challenging tasks before indulging in high dopamine activities. This sequence optimizes my motivation. By completing demanding work first, I create a sense of accomplishment that enhances my enjoyment of leisure activities. In conclusion, understanding dopamine's influence on motivation empowers you to make challenging tasks feel more approachable. Limiting high dopamine triggers, such as excessive phone and computer use, helps restore your brain's natural balance. By recalibrating your dopamine receptors through detox methods, you rediscover the allure of everyday activities and enable enduring productivity. We're all, to some extent, dopamine enthusiasts. The key is directing that enthusiasm toward activities that truly benefit you. So, are you going to let dopamine drive you toward fleeting pleasures, or will you harness its power to conquer your long-term goals? The choice rests with you. If you found this video insightful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Your support fuels the algorithm to share content that resonates with viewers like you. As always, thank you for watching, and here's to becoming better than yesterday.